Hey guys, Piers living on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So another week, another ETF decision. We have that coming tomorrow at the latest, probably end of day, past like 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't remember when the last when the last one was released. I think the coin ETF denial was 3 or later in the day. I don't remember when the VanEck delay was announced. So I think the whole market in general is waiting on that, especially Bitcoin. It's been a bullish consolidation based on the past few days, past week, based on the price structure. I said to a few people in other rooms that that structure in a vacuum breaks up, but we're not in a vacuum where we've got all these external forces acting on the market. I generally don't play events, which is why I'm not a big fan of any of this stuff that's going on. So Brave New Coin article on Bitcoin, check that out. I'll go through some of the charts in that article, but again, I'm just looking at this Wyckoff every day. You know, you can hate it, you can love it, I don't care. It's one of the things I look at, one of the things I consider. Phase D is arbitrary, and we're not there yet. This is just a roadmap of what it may look like should it occur. Puts us at around 11,000. You know, how this happens, if you look at like 2013 or 2014, 2015, it's a real quick run up, and then we were in that ascending triangle for like 200 days. So you can get excited. I'll be excited if we for sure break up, but I'll get even more excited if we have an extended consolidation period, because it takes a lot of time. You make your decision well in advance. There's a clear bias on the chart. You can say what you want about any other external news-related events, but for the most part, the price to me tells me all I need to know in advance, just as it did in this latest move. It didn't necessarily behave exactly how I thought it was, but it still went up instead of down at the end of the day, so it's fine with me. The other part of this is the descending triangle. Any chart pattern that's descending is reversal north, generally, unless it's, yeah, or it could be a continuation if it's a bull trend and then a falling wedge. In this case, it is arguably a bear. It's a falling wedge into a bear market, whatever, so this should have a bullish bias. If we look at the 2015 pitchfork, the pitchfork to rule all pitchforks, the trend, the rate of change to rule all rate of changes. This will look different depending on which exchange you draw it on. This is off the BLX, the Brave New Coin Index. So if you're on Finex, you'll notice like the wick goes down a little lower on this candle, whatever. The point is that we've been in this trend for 3 years plus, and it must have confluence with other things like the Mayer multiple, if you're familiar with that, Trace Mayer's thing, or just general Metcalfe's law, whatever, I don't know, like it's log, it's 45 degrees or maybe 35 degrees. Like, it seems insane, just like thinking about it, but it seems real. We came back to the median after blowing way past the trend, the rate of change. Anything like October on was just way outside the standard deviation, if you will, of the mean. So we're right back where we should be. I don't expect this to drop much further below the purple thing here. If we do, we'll probably snap back to the mean, snap back to reality. This is painting end of year 11K, which matches the Wyckoff accumulation period. So if we have a run up in Q4, which we typically do, we'll probably chill at 11K based on Wyckoff. I don't expect taxes to be a massive burden for people this year. Something to keep in mind is the Mt. Gox stuff next year. That'll mess with the market a little bit, I think. But in general, my narrative seems intact at the moment. Everybody's talking about this, and everybody was giving everybody shit for talking about this. But the point is, like, facts are facts. Everybody can see this. It's just like the Tether thing. Everybody can see Tether going to the exchange. That's the benefit of blockchain, right? So you can blame Tether, you can blame BitMEX downtime, but all this was known in advance. We're seeing shorts increase every few days, and we're not going down in price. We're at a local bottom. You got to think to yourself, My guess is they're shorting pre-ETF denial because there's no way this ETF is getting approved. If it does, I will be shocked shitless, but there's just no way. Longs are, we're net short, we've been net short, whatever. But my point is, don't be afraid to look at the facts objectively and say the short is the crowded trade. So this is the structure. You can say it was a mess, you can say it didn't exist, you can say you don't believe in TA, whatever, I don't care. I won't deny it's a mess. I won't deny the volume profile is all over the place. Very clearly, large volume changing hands between what looks to be very few individuals on Bitfinex. Just large sells into large buy walls, and we didn't end up going anywhere. Why they were trying to push price down before the ETF announcement, I don't know. Like it would make more sense to me to save your powder for the announcement and then just dump it like they did here. And this wasn't even that much compared to these past couple of days. So I don't really know what the thinking mindset was, especially knowing shorts were at 60-40 or whatever percentage wise. So yeah, in a vacuum, this breaks up all day, every day. It's the bottom fractal. We make higher lows, then we make the scary lower low. I don't know. like regardless, I was just expecting it to go up, even though the massive spike in volume there. This is the chart beforehand. So not only was there an edge to edge, there was structure. It looked really good. If anything, this massive shakeout was a fake out. You can say that in hindsight after it broke up, but it certainly seemed like that. Things were just weren't going anywhere, and someone tried to lean on it. Interesting that we have similar structures in the same price zone. What that means, I don't know, but pretty bullish as far as the reversal potential. So on the, I don't have this on here, but the local high up here to the local low here, we actually pumped past the 50% retracement. So anytime you establish high and low, the probability of going to 50% is pretty high, and that's around 7,100. That's the expected target, even regardless of the structure here. I'm watching this 2-day 5,200, mainly because it's not crossed since 2015, and it looks like it's gonna. If it doesn't, uber bullish, super bullish. Look at the 5,200 in 2015 on the daily. You'll see an example of when we almost crossed the bullish and didn't, and dumped really hard. So this is really good if we can keep bullish. If anything, it'll probably touch and then make a decision. Might sound arbitrary, but watch for it. This is alligator fractal. Again, another trend thing, trying to help you decide what's going on over a long period of time. And the trend is flattening out. The EMAs are flattening out, which tells you that bearish momentum is waning. Might be okay to take a long soon, things like that. Selling your shorts are getting stopped out, most likely, even though they're not. A smart short might be stopped out there based on that price action. I don't know. I think everybody's waiting for the ETF. So if we don't dump on the ETF announcement, I think the shorts just unload anyway, and then we go higher. I mean, that's a possibility. We either do nothing on the announcement, we dump hard on the announcement, or we dump hardly at all because it's priced in, and then shorts unload anyway, and we go higher. I don't see the market just doing nothing on the announcement. The market's too stupid right now to make that objective decision logically. Ethereum article came out this morning. Bunch of charts in there. Check that out. Overall, the TA for ETH, not much to say in general. It's making lower lows faster than Bitcoin did, mainly because there's these large holders of ICOs and what have you, or dumping, because they should have been selling up here or anywhere higher than they are now. But that's not human nature. People capitulate. Towards the bottom, that's what happens. So this 360 area is probably going to be the resistance on the way up. It's pretty much at the equilibrium point for volume based on order blocks where they came in. So if it does make lower lows, it's going to go much lower. 136, that's like a yearly pivot maybe as well. The other thing I was noticing is that this pitchfork, it bounced off a low, and it's already a pretty steep drop. So to make a lower low, it would have to the bottom would have to fall out of the table or whatever that expression is for us to really have any momentum. I think it's due for a retrace. And then lastly, on the 12-hour cloud, I like the 12-hour cloud on ETH because the TK bearish ticket cross was so spot on the money. And that's really calling for us to go back to 365 as we're dumping slowly on futures here. That's all I have for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter, and happy trading.